Yeah, so actually I've got 2 Medal of Excellence from the college.
Okay, good. Very nice. Okay, guys, why don't you introduce yourself and then I'm gonna give my brief introduction and just talk you about what I have in my mind and go from there. How about that? Sounds good?
Yes, sir, sure.
And keep it very formal, okay? And my name is Amit. Call me Amit. How about that? Start from there. Okay. Why don't Kuldeep you go first? Kushdeep, sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, Amit. So I'm an 8th semester mechanical engineering student at Chandigarh College of Engineering and Technology. Currently in my 7th semester rather. So I'm the financial secretary of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. That's the common contact between Arush sir and us. And I hope to eventually get into a good B school for a master's in finance program. So I'm a candidate for a master's in finance program in the next year or so.
Good. You want to go next? I think Parth is frozen. Why don't you go, Yash?
Yeah, hello, I'm Yashdeep Singh, and I'm currently studying mechanical engineering from CCT Punjab University in the 7th semester, and I'm also member of ASME, and to be specifically, I'm the vice chair, and Parth is the chair of the ASME Society student section of our college. And that's it. I'm currently want to go for MTech for future study.
Oh, that's what you're planning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about your university? Because it looks like I don't know much about this university. It says it's a Punjab University, but then you said it's a Chandigarh University. Is it same or different?
So there were actually 2, 3 colleges that came under Punjab University. One was PEC, the other was UIT, and the third was ours. So recently, PEC has separated from PU, and they have now to they are going for the IIT. That is, they will becoming an IIT soon, maybe next year.
You mean the Punjab University?
So PEC,
Punjab Engineering College.
yes, sir.
Okay. Because I think people know about this college through Kalpana Chawla, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes,
Is
sir.
she was from there?
You're right.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Not our college, from Punjab Engineering College.
PEC from them.
Okay. And your college is in Chandigarh? Your guys,
Yes, sir.
and it's called Chandigarh Engineering College. Is that what it's called?
Chandigarh College of Engineering and Technology.
Okay. And where is the Punjab Engineering College?
That's also in Chandigarh.
Oh, the both are in Chandigarh.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Parth, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, sir. Actually, I lost my connection. That's why. Sorry for that.
No,
Hi,
sure.
sir. I'm Parth. I'm also 7th semester student of mechanical engineering, and I'm chairperson of ASME student section. And as Kushdeep told you, that it is the common contact between us and Aru sir. Actually, we held similar kind of webinar or session few months back with him, and that's how we got connected.
Okay, got it. Okay, great, guys. So let me introduce myself first, and then I will like to tell you what about the reason I contacted you. And Arush, actually, so I came to know him about through work. Through he contacted me. He had some questions, and that I was able to help him out. And then I asked him that if he can get in touch with someone at his college in India, and that's how I got contacted with you guys. But let me tell you about myself. So my name is Amit, and I'm originally from Nainital. That's where I grew up. I went to IIT BHU for my engineering. I did my bachelor's there, and I graduated in 2003, a long time back, in mining engineering. And then I immediately came to US and did my master's in in civil engineering, actually. from University of Arizona, and then moved to do a PhD after that from mechanical engineering. So I moved through these three branches, but basic idea was my research, my interest was in material science, and I kept that interest throughout, basically. And then I started my postdoc, which is after PhD, you do another sort of a training, you can say, from at Johns Hopkins, and then I worked at Oak Ridge National Lab, which is like a DRDO in India, basically. And then I worked at Rolls-Royce. Immediately after that, I had their what is a materials division, if you have to say, on fuel cells. If you guys know about fuel cells, you may have heard about them. And then it got acquired by LG, the Korean company, the electronic consumer company. So we worked for them, and then I moved, and then I headed the business for ANSYS, the software company. If you guys probably have used their softwares for North America, their materials division in particular. Briefly worked there. Then I started a startup with one of my friend here in Ohio. Worked there for about 8 months or so. And then about 6 months back, just before this COVID hit and everything, I joined Lockheed. So now I work for Lockheed, in particular Lockheed Space. So what we do here is we work with very closely with NASA, Air Force, and all those people work on their space programs, whether it's a moon program, Mars program, any satellite programs, and so forth. So this is what I do now. Pretty good, interesting work. I enjoyed it quite a lot, I would say. The career journey I enjoyed a lot. So coming back to the point, why I would want to talk to you guys or the students in particular. So I think it was about 6 months back. I started talking to people on LinkedIn, like what they're looking for, some help, because I was trying to figure it out. How can I help? Because in COVID, everybody was, at home and confused, and tried to seek some sort of advice or something. And I got a good response about, people were looking for some career advice and all that. So I started doing that, started a channel called the Careerpedia. If you guys Google it, you will find that. And started this conversation with students. That's what Arush contacted me, to be honest with you. And that I started helping our students. And it became quite popular in the sense that I got, so far, I think, so I spend my Saturdays, Sundays helping our students. So if anybody has questions, previously I used to help everyone, but now I ask everyone to, send me some questions. So I get an idea like what they're looking for. And if I've already answered those questions, I tell them just go and watch some videos. But if they have very particular question, or if their case is very interesting, I tend to talk to them one-on-one and help them out. And that's where my goal here is, especially with, being from India also. I think I like to get back to students. I love talking to students. That's one of the thing that excites me about talking to students, because everyone is very energetic. And going back when I was undergrad, I feel the questions of students have not changed, to be honest with you. Everybody is in the same thing. Like I had questions, where should I apply, or whether I should do masters, or whether should do I an MBA, why should I do an MBA, and whatever it is for that matter. I always get questions, and for Kushdeep, to you is, so I started also my MBA program from Ohio State that I'm doing right now. So I get such, so I consider myself very blessed that I have such a huge, strong background that I connect to students at every level. And with my experience, with my education background, with my qualification, I feel like I am able to answer most of the time. And then I saw students resonating with what I'm saying, and which I found is very, very good, because then I'm able to help them out, to be honest with you. And this is what the whole idea was. Coming back to the point that what I was thinking. So I've been talking to universities or institutions here in India I've been talking. I have some workshops lined up at IIT Indore, Bombay, Roper, Gandhinagar, BHU, of course, and a couple of other. And then I'm now talking to you. So I'm trying to seek out. Everybody's at home. Can I get cluster of students where number one is I want to inform them about what's happening in space. I think, to be honest with you, one of the things that I found it is for engineering student, especially, or with students who are whose background are in sciences, or for that matter, even it's public policy or something. Space is something. This is going to be the next big thing. If anybody wants to ask what is the next big thing that's going to happen in the world, is space. And like US, India is in the forefront of that. You have seen many launches that happened. Like last year, there was a failure, so-called failure. But people have started amazing thing. Now they have Chandrayaan, I think 2 or 3 coming up. Gaganyaan is coming up. And same with the US. We have our Artemis program that is coming up, which is huge, which is basically a gateway to Moon, Mars, and beyond. And as an engineering student, you can't say that we need just mechanical engineering students or materials student or biology. You need everybody to come in together and pitch in here. Space is such a vast thing. And I would say that, so this is my first idea is I want to talk about what's happening out there, just an awareness to students. And the second thing I want to talk to students about their career dilemmas or questions they have, if they have any questions. So those students who are seeking that sort of advice and may find it helpful, I want to help them out. So this is my intention to reach to you guys, to be honest with you. And so for you guys, if you, first of all, I would like to get your feedback. Do you think that this is something would be helpful? And as I said, this has to be very formal. I don't want it to be a department seminar. Trust me, I hate that. I don't like preaching people. I don't like listening to people. I get very bored. That's how I am. Even I was undergrad, I hated that. I want one-to-one interaction. I want students to tell me this is their problem, and I want to tell them the right answer. I just don't want to say, give sermon to them. No, the idea was to help them, right? So as I said, if you think that, and this has to be, this meeting, as I said, has to be very formal. This has to be very interactive. And we can see how can this work and so forth. But I can tell you, first of all, I would like to hear your feedback, all three of you. Do you think this is something that would be helpful for you guys, personally to you, first of all, and then to your fellows in your university? First year, second year, third year students, undergrad, masters, PhDs, doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome. And most importantly is, then we can talk about, when we can do it, when we should do it. I know you guys have exams and all that. So yeah, everybody's going through that. So, most of my talks are in after second week of December, because I want the students to, get away with the exams and all that. And then first year can join in also after that. So yeah, go ahead. This is your time to speak now. So as I said, this is what I have in my mind, and I would like to get your feedback from here. Yeah.
Parth, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, sure, Kudeep. So, sir, if I talk about myself, I went through your profile on LinkedIn, and I must say, as you told, it's very diverse. And particularly, if I talk about myself, I'm also someone who's interested in the management side. So, right now, speaking, for the placements are as you have been told, I guess, by Aru sir, or by December month, the placements are near, and I'm looking for the placement and opportunities in the similar field. So yeah, definitely I even went through one of your videos, and they were quite nice. So it will be definitely helpful if you can do some similar kind of sessions and solve our queries.
Yeah, good.
Just adding on to what Parth said, I believe, yes, on the onset of the outset, it does sound extremely interesting. And important rather for the students, because as you correctly say, the pandemic has definitely perhaps changed ideologies and even business markets and all. And people, because of excess time on their hands, they are getting on the internet, thinking out stuff. They need some answers. They're intellectually curious more relatively, I believe. And as you correctly say, we have a 900 student pool if we include our first year. So we do have a good opportunity to help them out. But I believe regarding I'm not so sure if how students will be taking it. Will it be a career advice session, or will it be, because we have a lot of webinars, students do interact aggressively, quite rather, and but regarding career advices, they're a bit skeptical, because when they're off their 12th standard, they're off their rote learning, and they're into the college world, and they are completely blank on what to do in ahead of or not. So they don't have that required knowledge as such to even ask the required questions, because they basically get up and get aware in the fourth year, in our year itself. So that's a slight issue which I have seen in the last 4 years, whether it's in my batch or in my juniors, and even the teachers do agree with that. So I'm not so completely sure how it's going to be marketed, to say, for the lack of a better word, but certainly it's a very good idea, definitely.
Okay.
Yes, I think Khushdeep has summed it up very nicely, and I would just like to add that students right now don't know what to do, exactly what to do, and even if they have planned something, they have to change it because of the scenario. So yeah, we have conducted many seminars, and the participation was also good, and the topic that you have come up with, I think it will attract a lot of attention and good amount of students.
Okay.
Adding,
I think
I would like
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would like to add one point that, as the Kushdeep said, that the dilemmas faced by students, the very common thing which I have noticed among many students of our class, and in general, I guess this scenario is pretty much same everywhere else, is that the students don't have idea what are the fields in which they can look upon. For example, currently the automobile and EV are popular, so whole of the mechanical batch or mechanical lot is thinking about that EV and designing and mechanical automobile itself. And as you have been as you told that there are space industry, and even more than that, Arush sir is doing his thesis in, I guess, optics and all. So there are diverse fields in mechanical engineering also. So I think that this kind of session will be helpful in telling about the diverse fields and diverse options available for the students as career options.
Uh,
Yeah, I think
Pardon me, sir.
yeah, go ahead.
Can
Go
you
ahead.
hold on for a second? So, actually, my parents were not at home. I think they have just come and
Sure,
I have
sure.
to go just for a few seconds.
Yeah, sure, sure. I think Kushdeep, you raised a good point actually, and let me dissect that a little bit more. I think because the whole idea would be this should be, as I said, I want it to be impactful, and if it is not, then I would really regret, because it will be waste of my time and everybody's time. I would say, and I'm as I think, as I'm going back, right, and think about when I was a student as a freshman or first year, second year, third year, fourth year, how did I evolve, right? And at every stage, what were my questions? And let me summarize them. And as I said, this is the year 2020, but in 2000, the problems were the same. They were not very different, right? So as I said, first year is a fun year, right? It's just fun, nothing else. There are only few of them who get excited about doing something new. But I also saw when I was in first year, and my friends, we are curious about everything. Whether it's dance, whether it's music, whether it's robotics, we are excited about everything, right? So these are first year categories, right? I would say second year, when you start going to the department, that's where things changed a little bit, because now you are more focused, right? And I would say second year was the time when I think I if I can speak about myself, I started thinking about what I'm going to do, right? What are the options? And um, I was lucky that I got one of the good professor in my department that I started working in his lab right away, and I enjoyed it. And by the end of second year, I knew I have to go for a PhD. I was very clear. We started publishing papers, we started doing things, we started writing. By the end, I finished my bachelor's. We had a couple of papers out and all that. So, and then we also, during that period, we went to IC Bangalore for a training. We did a lot of things, to be honest, academically. So as I said, my path was pretty much straight. But that was also the time where students, I found a lot of my friends who were like, I hate this thing, I want to go to business. And they started reading Economics Times and everything, which is fine, actually. I can understand. And to be honest with you, a lot of them are actually not a lot of, I would say a lot of them, everybody, most of them, like 2 or 3 of us went for a PhD. But rest of them will end up either joining a software company, eventually end up doing an MBA, and now they are doing finance and everything. So everybody's doing good. And I won't say that's a wrong thing to do. But as I said, my idea here is to those group of students to aware them what else is there, as you said. See, one of the problems that we see is with the students that since our teaching is so amazing, I hope it's still that amazing, that we don't know anything about other than what is out there in books. Actually, the good thing is about technology, because you have YouTube and a lot of things. At least in my days, there was very less out there. Internet was still a very commodity. It was not like readily available. So as I said, I can come from that stream where I can try to tell students, because as I said, my background, I'm not a mechanical engineer, I'm not a civil engineer, I'm not a mining engineer. I have seen so many things. I can definitely tell you one thing is, this world is all about interdisciplinary and the connections that you make. That's what it is. It's not about just mechanical engineering, just civil engineering, or just mining engineering, or just material science or anything, to be honest with you. It's about everything. So let's say tomorrow, if you go and work for even for a company, and I would definitely say, and one of the thing, like because I did my PhD, I always used to think that this MBA is just bogus and all that. When I started doing it, I realized there is a value to that also. And especially if you have a technical background, because let's say unless until you started working for, I don't know, .com sort of a company, but if you are working for a technology company, let's say you are a program manager at Apple, right, or anything, I think your technical knowledge will be equally important there. Or if you are working as a program manager for Tesla, let's put it this way, right? Integration will be a huge part of your whole knowledge. And how would you apply that? Coming from an engineering background will definitely help you out by using that knowledge. And that's what I have seen. And especially as you go up in the hierarchy, you will realize that no matter what, more or less, we are all managers, to be honest with you. Very few people are the ones who are doing this grassroots level work and so forth. You will be the one who will be integrating stuff. And that means you will need human interaction, international businesses, and everything you can think of that you will require, and the knowledge of it. But it doesn't mean that you have to do an MBA, because many times you can learn in your own companies also. Like, for example, the current CEO of IBM, who is a graduate from IIT Kanpur, he doesn't have an MBA, he has a PhD. So there are examples out there where people learn these things when they are working. But I guess in India, I would say there's a different sort of a challenge, especially with new people who are graduating. And if there are the jobs are not there in that way. So the second part of, I would say, is people really need to think as they are like in their third year, fourth year, whatever transition period is, what my plans are, what I'm going to do. Because, here's the thing. I'm not here to tell you how you can get a job, because career to me is a very, very typical thing. And if you can understand, uh, it's not about doing a job in a company. It's like what you want to do in your life at the end, right? Um, I can I can I can completely understand the anxiety of not having a job. And trust me, that anxiety will stay in your life forever, as far as you will look for a job to earn money. Still, I can give you my examples. Even if since 7-8 years I have been working, there were 2 times in my life where either I had to leave a job or we have been laid off, the whole our business shut down. So what I'm trying to tell you is this sort of thing happens all the time. But then the question here is how you come out from that, or how you make sure that you are ready for next big thing or next step. Because that is the one thing challenge that you will realize that you will face no matter where you go or what you do. And again, especially for people who wants to go for higher studies, whether, as I said, they want to do an MBA or they want to do their MS or PhDs, if that's what their plan is. I presume that because this is what my career was, because I can't tell you about how to get a job in Infosys. That's what I cannot. So those students who are seeking that sort of advice, they probably should not attend this talk. But if you are talking about, okay, what after an MTech, what are you going to do? What is the scenario? What are the opportunities? Even for an MBA student. Actually, I had a couple of talks in my channel about few students who are doing, because of the pandemic, they couldn't travel to US. So they were doing online MBA from NC State or a couple of universities. I was speaking to them and they were talking about what and what not. And so forth. So, and then the other thing that may be interesting for a few students is about is it a good idea to come to US for higher studies, and why not? I think this is a very important question, because still today, or not only US, anywhere to that matter. And because this is one question that changes your life, that has changed my life. So like, why should we come and why not? Or if we are coming, what is the reality? Because reality is different than a lot of people tell you. It's good, bad, and ugly, everything. And so what are the pitfalls that you will see, and how would you prepare yourself to do that? And as I said, this talk is not for all the 900 students. This talk would be for maybe 100 students, maybe 200, maybe 50. It doesn't matter. But as I said, my idea is to reach out those students who are really seeking some sort of help. And as I said, if somebody is interested in just the information and listen about what's happening in space, what are the new things that are coming as a talk, they are most welcome to listen to it too. And so, as I said, I will send you guys. I think I emailed Arush or Parth. I think I send it to you, right? A PDF.
Yes, sir. You sent it to me.
Yeah, I can send you that, you guys, again. But as I said, if you guys find a time when your classes are over, sorry, your exams.
Sir, as of now, we have no clear picture as of now. If there would have been no corona, this thing, then we have our sessionals generally in late November, and our final exam generally lasts till 22nd of December.
So
But
they don't have any date?
Yes, sir. This time we haven't received any notification yet from the university.
Oh, okay. So as I said, I mean, it's up to you guys, what you guys think, but I would say we can look at a time in sometime in December. Saturdays, Sundays work better for me, 11 a.m. this is what I'm targeting because of my workload. Also, I can't do on weekdays, and Saturdays, Sundays are usually better for me. So as I said, if you guys again think this is something that would be something interesting, something different, to be honest with you, then we can go after that. I will send you out the PDF again, a couple of other details you can send out to students. One of the things that I asked at other IITs is create a Google Sheet, and if whoever is interested, add their names to it. We can, my dates for December are getting booked, but if you can tell me any date, Saturday, Sunday in December, that can work out. That's fine. And as I said, this is for, to be honest with you, as I said, this is for students who are really in a stage where they are like, to be honest with you, especially, think of a student, right? As I think Yash is mentioning, I want to do an MTech, but here he is in this Corona phase and is stuck. But so why, what not, what's the best thing to do? As I said, you can do your MTech. From here, your career can go different phases, right? You will be lucky, you can find a job. That's number one. You can go for an MBA, you can go for an MTech, you can go for a master's, and a lot of other things, right? This is sort of a discussion that would be extremely valuable, and could, as I said, my role here is to give you as much as information with best of my knowledge, and it's up to you what decision you make. But I want to make sure you have all the data so that you can make a right decision. Okay. So yeah, as I said, I'm gonna send you out the PDF and everything, and take a look to it. Tell me a date, what date will work for you guys. Send that out to students, and see how many are interested. I can send a Zoom link. I think I can add up to, I don't know, 200, 300 people, something like that. But again, the good thing would be is to avoid the chaos. If you can have students who can send their questionnaire before you, because a lot of students will have same questions, right? So you can have a student listening, but you can have questions, and a couple of guys you can be the moderator, and I can answer those questions and interact with them. And to be honest with you, if somebody is really looking for some sort of help, because I have students also who are like, hey, I got already admit from these 3 universities, right? And or for example, I have this, like, I got a job right now. I spoke to a student from IIT Bombay last week. He's like, I have a job and I have applied. What should I do? So there are some students who are in like right now phase, who are seeking immediate advice because they don't have much time. I can, as I said, I can help them out right away. That's not a problem at all. So don't worry too much about my time and all that. If somebody's really seeking some help, I can help them out. Okay. Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Or if you guys, as I said, I have about 10-15 minutes more. If you guys want to talk about yourself, that would be the best time to do, actually, to be honest. So if you guys want to talk about anything else, or yeah, go ahead.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead, Parth.
Yeah, sir, just I wanted to ask if you are planning to continue this in January also.
Yeah. As I said, there is no rush. Yeah.
Because there are chances that in the second half of December, exams will start. So the possibility that we can hold this session in January itself only.
Yeah. Oh, I just said there is no rush. Not at all.
And
Yeah.
the other thing was that we will be able to spread the message more effectively if we kind of can promote this on social media and etc. and all.
Sure.
We can do this through the ASME CCT handle. So are we allowed to do that also?
Yeah. It's totally up to you guys. As I said, the more effective it is better. This is, as I said, this is volunteer work. This has nothing to do with anything. I do this on my free time. So there's no obligation or anything, that sort of a thing. You can advertise it. You can do whatever you want.
So, sir, we'll do.
And January is totally fine too. There's, as I said, there's no rush from my end. Yeah.
So, sir, we'll do one thing that as soon as our exam dates are announced, or if we get any information regarding examinations from our higher authorities, then we'll contact with you and figure out the dates, how they get along.
Yeah, that's fine. Perfectly fine. Good.
Yeah, Kush, you were saying something.
Yeah, I think Parth covered most of it. And as he said that because if we are allowed to do it through an official handle, even though we can easily get, because as you have said that it's volunteer work, it's, and I believe that there will be no future obligation or perhaps financial obligation towards the students.
Yeah. No, there is nothing. Yeah. Absolutely.
That should be very good for all of us, because the professors will give us enough leeway and leverage to promote it on the official handles, and that really gets the attention of the students more than us promoting it unofficially, because then we'll have to really work extremely hard to even put the message across. So that's certainly something which Parth and us, the entire team, can work on.
Sure.
Secondly, as you said, any personal question, I think you did raise one of the most important questions, which was regarding America as such. Yeah. So being, I think, Parth is a management and prospective management student, Yash being a much more in the technical side, and I'm also into management and finance only. So one of the most important or unnerving questions, if I may say, regarding America is that it's the largest economy in the world, it's the most powerful country. There are enough merits to it. But with the recent, perhaps I would say, the political instability, the immense failure in terms of healthcare, perhaps, seeing the pandemic, and even up to a certain extent, if I may say, the racial bias or anything, perhaps in the interior states of America, how would you rate for a future student in America?
So should I say what my president says, fake news? But but I will answer that question. I think this question is very common. I get from a lot of students who want to apply, and even I think there was a news in LinkedIn, is especially with MBAs, there was about 30% decline in MBAs students and all that. The way I understand this, see, you have to understand two things here. We always see the world as a snapshot, right? Because you are born in this era, this is what you're seeing, right? And I'm seeing world with my snapshot. But if you talk to a 91-year-old, and this is a very good thing, she will tell you this is the best time to live in ever, because she has seen the Spanish flu pandemic, she has seen World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, Korean War, this war, that war, and Cold War, and then she will tell you this is the best time to live in, right? So my advice to everyone is, whenever you think like that, think bigger. You talk about one of the things you talk about, a racial bias. I would say if you really look at the data, this is the time where it's least, actually. I mean, are you talking about 60s, where people, even in India, right, or anywhere, whether it is a caste bias or a racial bias, it was worse, actually, right? I think all this thing is just to make news, in my opinion, because to be honest with you, if you ask me, I can hear, or ask me or my friends, put it this way, right? I would say I've never heard of it, actually. I've never seen anything like even this thing. Only thing I hear it in news. I mean, you can pinpoint the incident, but I can pinpoint 100 incidents in your city too, right? So what is the, are you going to not stop living in your city now, right? But talk about the holistic picture, that's absolutely incorrect. And the reason is, and actually you should ask, the question you should really ask is, why people flock to US? Why? What is the reason? I mean, I can tell you one reason very simple today is, even with all of this, even if you ask any student, the first place they want to go, and I'm talking about professional life, okay? They will say US, no matter what. They're not going to say Japan, or they're not going to say Germany. Why? The reason is very simple. And here is the reason. And actually, one of the student, actually, I had a video on Careerpedia. He said, I really want to understand that all these Indians who are in India, they don't do anything. As soon as they go to US, they become big scientists. And he was absolutely right. Like, why that happens, right? Because the reason is very simple. Because in US, the opportunity pool is huge. Think of a bucket, right? Think of like these two bottles. I mean, which the cup and the bottle, right? Which contain more water, the bottle, right? Why? And this is US, and this is some other country. The opportunity pool is huge. So first of all, no matter what do you would want to do? Whether you are good in dancing, you will find an opportunity here. You are a great scientist in the area of optics, you will find an opportunity here. You clean the best, you sweep the best room ever, you will find an opportunity here. You understand my point? So no matter what, and this has nothing to do, by the way, with your degree too, no matter what, this is about your skill set and how good you are. That's it. You will find an opportunity here. Let's talk about India or any other country. If I am really interested in singing classical, opera, and fusion, what are the opportunities? Where's the platform? I don't know. If I'm really good in looking for or expertise in lunar mining, where I'm gonna go? Tell me. This is the whole, that's why people flock here, right? And that's how you should see it. Again, professional. I'm not talking about personal here. That's a separate story. But professionally, that is the reason why people flock here. It's not because something else. And the second thing I would say, despite you talk about all this racism and all that, and dude, I came from India. Everybody knows the reality. Every country, wherever you go, north versus south, we have seen it. And I grew up in Nainital. First time I went to BHU, I was an outsider there too. Not in a bad sense, but we had a humor. But one can say that is a racism too, and we did that too. And this was those days. This was very common. But as far as people are very respectable, as far as especially, you're talking about you guys. You're the best cream of the cream. You are interacting with people who are like you. They are not bad people. They are extremely educated, well-mannered, well-behaved people. That's why I said I've never seen it, because I never interact anybody other than that, right? And one thing you will see, which I would proudly say, that you will find, actually you will find no matter where you go, to be honest with you. I have traveled country, I have worked with any other countries also, whether it's UK, Japan, Korea. I have lived there, I have worked in those companies. Indians have tremendous respect and have gained a lot of reputation. So trust me, no matter where you go. So here is the funny story. You will guys enjoy it. I used to work for Rolls-Royce, Oak Ridge, and there are so many Indians there in higher positions. I started working at Rolls-Royce, found the same thing. Went to work for ANSYS. The whole company is full of Indians. The CEO, CTO, just look at it, everybody. And then I came to Lockheed, which is different in the sense, because this is a company who doesn't hire internationals. You have to be citizen, right? And I thought maybe I won't find anybody here. But within our research, we call ATC, Advanced Technology Center, which is the research wing for ATC. We do a lot of R&D work for our customers. The top fellows, everybody's Indian. So again, is there a racism there? I don't see any racism. I would say, as I said, I'm talking about Indians in general. I mean, if that was the case, and I'm talking about these fellows who are older, like they are like 65, 70, they came there in like 50s or 60s or 70s, right? Those were the worst time, if you say. So, I don't see that. Don't ever think like that. And as far as politics is concerned, whether it's any country, as far as we are not a dictatorship, it changes every 4 years. Who cares? Right? I mean, trust me, the presidency changed this time. Just wait for 6 months. Everybody will say, oh, everything is good or whatever, right? That doesn't impact you. And as I said, even with the administration which is leaving, I would say that administration was also very geared towards we need to bring skills. All they were speaking about illegal immigrants, which any country is dealing with. I mean, that's a fair thing to say. I don't want to make a political statement here, but as for the legal skill set immigration, everybody loves it. This is the country which loves it the most than ever. I mean, if you think of a Japan, right? The biggest problem they are having right now is their old age problem, right? And the reason is because they didn't allow immigrants. Right now they are relaxing, but I think it's too late. So if you go, so here's the thing: if you come to US, you will not feel like you are in a foreign country, because you will find every second house or every third house, depends on where you live. Especially if you live in Jersey, San Jose, or Chicago, you will feel you are in India. But more or less, you will feel like that. You will find some, like as you pointed out, in Midwest, when I started living in Tennessee, you will find like people come and approach you saying who you are, what you do, because like it's like going to a village in India, right? People will stare at you. It's the same thing. But they are more curious, I would say. They're more curious about you, what you are, who you are, and all that. And I can understand that. Like if a South Indian starts to go in my village and start living, I'm telling you, dude, everybody in my village in India will start staring at him. So it's not different. And so as I said, do you call that racism? I won't call that. I would call it more of a curiosity. But as I said, there are pin pockets. I mean, in 9/11 happened, a lot of, you will hear incident about Sikh getting beaten, but they are pockets, they are pockets. But as I said, you can find the same thing in India too. So don't give too much into it. I would say your focus should be on working. Trust me, if you want to succeed in your professional life, still today, this is one of the best places, hands off. I mean, there is no question in my mind. Yeah, I mean, there is undoubt. There is no. I mean, you can go to Japan. That's where probably you will feel actually foreigner. You go to Korea, you will feel a foreigner if you have been to those countries, or if, for that matter, if you go to China or any, you will feel foreigner. But here you won't, especially because we speak English. It's not at all a problem. But if you go to Japan, oh my goodness, I remember first time I went to there, it took me 1 hour to find a bus stop. Like nobody in Tokyo, even nobody was able to speak English, and I felt like a foreigner because I went to a grocery shop. I was looking for eggs. Took me like 15 minutes to find the egg. Like I was talking to Lydia and I have to like do a monkey dance like this. I need, I'm like, ouch. So, it was like that. But here, you never feel it. And especially you have a good student community and a good engagement. So this is an irrelevant question, to be honest with you. Very irrelevant question, yeah. But it's a genuine question because of the news, I guess. Yeah. Okay, guys. So Parth, I had to leave. I had to take another call, but
Sure.
yeah. But as I said to you, it was fun interacting with you guys. Loved it. Just get in touch with me whenever you guys are comfortable, and I will send you some information after we are done, and you can send that out or do modification, whatever you feel like. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Great.
Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, not a problem. Anytime. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Mhm.